To give it like 5 seconds before it actually goes live. Hello, everyone. This is the next, newest, greatest installment of the MLB After Hours Podcast edition. I am your host for today, Bossbox Falco, and we have quite a bit to talk about. There were 8 series throughout the past week, um, all 3-game series, many of them not going to 3 games, but best of 3 series. And I think there's a lot to talk about. We had a lot to talk about last week. Lots of people made their predictions. I don't have the predictions with me, but I have my own, and I think we're just going to go to it. First, I want to talk about something that I think everyone's talking about. Um, the amount of teams in the postseason is bad. Uh, no one likes 8 teams on either side, and that was shown mostly with the first 2 series we're going to talk about: Dodgers, Brewers, and Jays and Rays. I'm not going to give these series much of any fanfare because they were boring. Uh, the Brewers and the Jays were very, very hopelessly outclassed, and I don't feel like there's too much to talk about. Um, Alex, do you think there's anything to talk about? Was there anything that actually mattered coming out of these series? Or
No, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was expected for the top seeds to win, and
yeah,
they did that.
yeah, it's just yeah, it's just I would like 16 teams if there was a salary floor. If there was the ability to force owners to spend money to make their teams competitive, I feel like 16 teams would be great. Unfortunately, that isn't the case. So we have teams that are below 500 in the postseason, and that's bad. We need to get them out. Either do yeah, let's do 32 teams. No, but it kind of does and it kind of doesn't because you're letting middle of the
Yeah, NBA does half the league too.
yeah, mind you, the NBA is bad and it's stinky and poo poo. That's that's my argument. I think like with hockey, things are a lot less undeterministic. If a bad team gets into the playoffs, they almost always go out of the playoffs. But as we'll see here, some good teams didn't make it through. Actually, that we're going to talk about that next. Um, as much as I am an Indians fan, I do have to admit that the Twins were a good team coming into the postseason, or at least it looked like it. But they were snuffed out in 2 games versus the Astros. That I think is the craziest outcome of the. I think it's the one that most people didn't expect because even everyone on the pod last time, minus Connor, was saying that the Marlins were going to go over, which we'll go over in just a bit here. Um, but most people didn't have the Astros over the Twins. I think almost me, because I said I hate the Twins, said Twins over Astros. Um, let's give the let's go to Hero. Hero, I'm gonna make you talk. What do you think this series? Do you think anything about this series? Do you it's off to someone else? Yeah, I think they're better than that, and I think they deserve the 6 seed, not over the Chiefs Sox, mind you, but definitely over the Jays. I think they're like good, but yeah, I can't really determine what was wrong because I watched both of the games, like they were fine, but they just got shut down. They just were not able to hit. Um, and that's really surprising seeing their offensive repertoire. Yeah, they loaded the bases like a few times. Okay, so Marv says his audio cannot be heard on Twitch. You may have to fix that here. Apparently, that's what Marv's saying. I'm not paying attention to it. Technical difficulties, folks. Give us a minute. Someone please check. Please. Marv, help. I have the podcast open right now. Everyone's riding on Marv.
Marv is the savior of this podcast. Damn, he sighed. He's stressed.
Hero, I need you to talk for 5 seconds uninterrupted.
That was like 2 seconds.
Okay, either way, it's not coming through.
Marv said you're welcome, so I think we're in the clear.
No, we are not in the clear. I still cannot hear Hero.
It's okay. Hero doesn't need to talk. So I thought the Astros.
Yeah. Apologies for the technical difficulties. We'll get back to the podcast.
Let's talk about
Yeah. Definitely still not coming through. Yeah,
So-
it's
I think this must be a job done by the baseball gods to keep Hero's opinions out of the pod.
just so he
I'm
can't
not
whine
gonna-
over fucking Fernando Tatis Jr. He marketed. Yeah, it's very murky. It's very incredibly hard to hear. Unfortunately, podcast do hear-
I don't think. Okay, can you hear me now?
Hero, how does it feel being suppressed by the media?
Marv,
John,
can you hear
shut,
me?
Yes.
What?
shut up, John.
You're not Marv. You're John.
Yeah, shut up, John.
Yo, Marvin the pod.
Let's go, Marv. I need you to talk for 3 seconds again.
I am talking for 3 seconds again.
He said very low, but yes.
It's very incredibly low.
Okay. Okay. I think this is good now. I figured it out, guys. I fixed it. Okay, I'm a genius.
It's what? Okay,
We can move
cool.
on now.
So, just to talk about Astros Twins, wrap it up very fast. Astros Twins couldn't hit anything at all. Astros staff either overperformed or were, just playing way above their competition because the Twins were sucky. Okay, that's Astros Twins. We have to be on a timetable here.
Right.
The next one I want to talk about is another one of the Central rivals, the Chi Sox, versus the Athletics, and I think this was one of the more quality series about the throughout the AL postseason. Didn't have the best game of the AL postseason. I think we're going to get that one last, but I think this one was particularly pretty good. I'm going to go to Taco. I don't know if he has any optics on this at all, but I just want to see what his opinions was.
So yeah, we're talking. This was White Sox, right?
Yep, White Sox.
So I
Right.
was very shocked they didn't let my boy Dylan Cease pitch that game number 3. I was pretty shocked about that. I think they would have done a lot better than pitching a bullpen game. I don't know why they didn't.
It was very interesting because they had Dane Dunning start, and he'd started before, and yet he only pitched 0.2.
Yeah, and then if you're gonna put in an opener like that, I mean, why not put in Dylan Cease right after that to be your regular
pitched in
pitcher
game
to
2.
get 4 or 5 innings?
Yeah,
because he pitched in
just-
game 2.
Oh, did he? Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just that they're. It was weird.
I don't
Putting
know
Cease in there.
if I remember correctly. They didn't even let him finish the first inning, right?
No,
Yeah,
he
they-
didn't.
Yeah, that's
Dunning
well,
did not finish the first inning.
They
They tried to. They
that's
kind of
just
tried to do what the
overmanaging.
Padres.
You know, it's like
Yeah, just way overmanaged.
like
The-
I remember. I
Padres-
don't know. This was
sorry.
2018. I think it was Craig Counsell taking his pitcher out after like one pitch. That was
yes.
Wade Miley?
Wade Miley after the first batter.
yeah. That was
That was super dumb.
yeah.
Well,
that was overmanaging too. So
Well, another thing is that they put in Garrett Crochet after they took out Dane Dunning, and he got hurt. So like you really wouldn't have noticed as much if Crochet wouldn't have gotten hurt, because he's a guy that can go a couple of innings, and maybe he would have gone into the third or fourth, and they could have, kept that bullpen a little more active and able to go into the later innings without having to use Evan Marshall for 50 pitches. So
Yeah,
injuries
that
played a
was-
part.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. Garrett Crochet, he had gone 2 innings just once before. He did it versus the Cubs on September 26th, but I don't think you can count on him to get a couple innings in a postseason scenario, because that was the first time he had ever done it, and it was his last game.
I think he
Yeah.
could have gotten like 2,
I get
maybe
it.
3
They were
innings.
trying to do what the Padres did, and we'll get to the Padres. They're next.
They could have got like at least 2, maybe 3 innings out of Dane Dunning. I think.
And they really needed to get more than an inning.
Yeah,
Or,
and
or a bullpen game.
going back to
Right?
game 2, I really did call Dallas Keuchel being terrible. I knew he was going to. He did the same thing last year with the Braves.
Yeah, Keuchel played pretty bad. Got taken out after 3.1. Yeah, it was a little bad, just a little bit. Yeah, they tried to do what the Padres did, but they don't have that good of a bullpen, and they weren't forced to. Padres had extenuating circumstances, but the Chiefs Sox just put their starting pitchers, like their 4th hole in the second game, or they only put them in the third game. It was really confusing, and I didn't really know what to think of it, and I still don't. People have been calling for Rick Renteria's head, and I said this last pod. I thought that they were going to lose specifically because of Rick Renteria, and I think that's the case. I think that's what happened. Renteria just mismanaged everything, and the Athletics that were slow a little bit were able to bounce back and take that series and get a bit of momentum going into the ALDS.
Yeah, we gotta say Giolito pitched really well in game 1.
Giolito, yeah, of course, pitched great. He was perfect through 6, I think.
Yep.
Then he gave a couple hits or whatever, but I think it was
Tommy
7.
Stella goated.
Shout out to Tom Millsdale. But yeah, he did 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run only. But that's not so bad. 1 for 1. But the other pitchers just didn't produce. If I think we're talking about the Chiefs Sox versus the Astros instead. It ended up not being like that, which is unfortunate. I talked about it a little bit in there. Next is Padres and Cards. Padres went on to win this one in 3 games. No Puro has some love for the Cardinals, so I want to go.
Game 2 specifically, I don't know. That game hurt. We should have won, and it would have been a sweep of the series, and then it would have been that. It would have been pretty uninteresting overall of a series, but they blew it, and I don't know. Like after game 2, I kind of had a feeling that we were gonna lose game 3 because the Padres are the better team, and
Yeah, I think the thing that was talked about the most was the team quote unquote waking up. I think that mythos carried into game 3. Just let their bats get hotter, and suddenly they're an insane hot streak. And Fernando Tatis
See,
with all the
I don't really.
homers.
I think
Come
that's
on.
overplayed. I don't think the Padres bats ever woke up. I think the Cardinals pitching just and the defense in Game 3, we kind of just gave them a lot of runs. So we had a chance every game of
Yeah,
the
but
series. We had a chance. Like in Game 2, it started with 2 walks and then it went downhill from there. So I just think
Yeah.
the Cardinals were the ones that pretty much gifted the Padres some runs. In Game 3, it was close up until that inning where Colton Wong made the error, and then it just went downhill from there. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Wayno only going 3.1 was not something that the Cards needed.
Yeah,
And
I was
needed
thinking the
more.
other day if
I feel
Flaherty
like.
had started Game 2, I mean, I feel like we had a better chance to win that.
With how Flaherty pitched in the regular season, it's
Well,
hard to
see,
put.
Flaherty,
Yo,
he
Flaherty pitched game 3, he lost it. So like, what do you
he
want?
allowed 1 run. Anyways, if Flaherty in the regular season, he actually was pretty good, alright? He had 1 start against the Brewers where he gave
He
up.
gave up 9 runs in 3 innings against the Brewers. How is
Can
that a
you
win?
let me finish? He gave up 9 runs to the Brewers, right? And that was like his ERA was inflated from that, but he's still pretty good. He's still our ace, and uh, I think he should have started. Well, hindsight, but like, I still would have wanted him to start Game 2 in the first place.
Yeah, I think you just wanted to bookend it with your better pitchers and put Wayno in
So
as
yeah,
a
this
wild
is
card.
my take on this. I feel like if we lost Game 1, I think maybe Wayno should have started Game 2. But after we
Yeah.
won Game 1, I was thinking we should have went with Flaherty, but it was Wayno's name was already written there, so
Okay. I think I think that's everything to say about Cards Padres. It was a good series.
don't talk about
Except-
Craig Stammen being the GOAT.
No. Anyway, we're gonna get on to Cubs Marlin. This was one
Connor,
that
how
if
does
you
it feel to be wrong?
how does it feel, buddy? Does it feel good?
I don't. I'm numb to it.
So this one is probably the one most of all where people who have been watching the sport very avidly maybe stop watching in like 2018, turn their heads and say, "Whoa, what do you mean the Marlins are Cubs in 2 games?" I think it's definitely a weird one, even though people, everyone on the podcast was like, "Yep, Marlins are going to do it," ironically or unironically. To go to our Marlins specialist here, Ron, what did you feel about that?
Hey yo, shout out to my boys, the bottom feeders, bro. They just came out of nowhere and they beat the Cubs in 2. Everybody was saying, "Oh, Cubs in 3, Cubs in 3. You can't hit Ken, you can't hit Hendricks, you can't hit Darvish." Shout out to Gary Cooper, white boy really took him deep. I love Gary Cooper. I love the pitching performances from Sandy and Sixto. Sixto was dealing, and the thing is, I was a little concerned for Sixto considering he lost a bit of his control in his last 3 starts. And I was really starting to think, yo, I don't think we're gonna win game 2. But hey, they worked as a team, they worked as a family, and they executed, and they took the Cubs down in 2 games. That was pretty interesting, and off to Houston we go.
Yeah, that was. I think the ABC commentators were commenting on it with Sixto. Sixto's approach in that game was very odd. He threw like 90% fastballs throughout the
Yep.
first 3 or 4 innings, and then he went to the soft stuff as his velocity came down. Thought
Right.
it was a very weird way to approach the game, but it worked incredibly well for him. He outdueled Darvish. Ended up not giving up a run, or maybe giving up 1 run. I don't remember. But Darvish giving up more than him, which I think is great. The kid
time,
really won.
time out. I don't know if you can say that Sixto outdueled Darvish. Sixto went 5 scoreless. Darvish went 6 scoreless before giving up a run. Like, just because Sixto
Yeah.
came out doesn't mean he outdueled Darvish.
I think
outdueled Darvish
Sixto
because he
studied the Cubs hitters. If there was a graphic that they displayed on ABC, it said The Cubs hitters were, I think, hitting 126 for pitches above 96 miles per hour or something like that, and Sixto was just throwing gas at them. 98,
He
99,
threw
hitting
100
100 a
like,
couple
many,
times.
he threw 100 a couple times throughout that game. I say outdueled
Yeah.
specifically because, and not because of like the innings or whatever, a quality start and all that. But I think the score had way more to do with it. With the struggling Cubs offense, Yu Darvish cannot give up a run in that scenario, and he did. And that's why I'm saying outdueled Cubs. I remember a very interesting graphic. It was, I think, Rizzo, Bryant, and Baez, if I'm not mistaken, at 1 for 24. Less than a 100 batting average. Plenty of strikeouts to go around. So that's what the Cubs lost for. If that didn't happen, if they were playing, as an average player, batting Mendoza line, specifically in those big scenarios where the Marlins, kind of gave him an inch, because there were some points where the Cubs came in and it was like bases loaded or second and third, either 1 out or 0 outs, and the Marlins would pitch out of it, but only because the Cubs hitter just underperformed.
I also want to give some appreciation to Six, though. He came onto that field and, despite all the doubts that we the fans had on him, whether he loses control or not, he became the second youngest pitcher in Marlins history to win a playoff game for the team, and the youngest being Dontrell Willis against the Giants in the NLDS back in 03. Good memories.
It's
You weren't
tough.
even there.
He was 9 months old. Okay,
Hey, I watched the games, bro.
What do
I
you
had my
remember?
time.
bro. I swear. I swear, bro. I was there. I think that's most of it. The Cubs pitching
Yeah.
wasn't
You want to talk to
immortal,
Connor about
and
the series though? I want to hear his takes.
yeah, Connor, what do you have to say to the Cubs' utter implosion and horrible play throughout our series?
Well, I think to talk about it first, I need to go back to the White Sox series because they hit really well in games 1 and 3 of that series. They scored
Yeah.
10 in each of them, and Bryant was really picking up. He homered twice, and it kind of looked like they were just gonna cruise through the first round. And I feel like I mean, like John's right. Like everyone just kind of assumes the Marlins are bad, and they just like don't try. And
I think
like you could
it's
tell.
like
I mean, you could tell, like, on offense, the swings were not good. And, like, another thing is that the Cubs' launch angle was horrible this year. They were hitting it so hard. The Cubs hit it hard. Like, if you look at the numbers, they hit it hard compared to other teams, but they just hit it on the ground the whole year. Everyone did. And they just
Yeah.
didn't lift the ball enough. And that's what the Marlins did. The Marlins out-homered the Cubs, and that's why they lost. That's why the Cubs lost.
Yeah, lots of people were talking about the Cubs being on the mend after the Chi Sox series. I thought that had more to do with the Chi Sox than it did the Cubs. That's why I said Marlins were gonna win.
You know what? I think Chris Bryant, I don't think he's okay. Like I've seen some press conferences with him. He's not taking it too lightly, and I think his problem at the plate is probably mental at this point. I hope he can figure it out, even though he's a Cub.
I think Chris Bryant will be fine. The other thing about Chris Bryant is, like, more of his value is not only on defense, but definitely on the base paths. He's probably the best base runners there is in the league. And he's not even that fast. He's just really smart and he gets great jumps. Like, if you look at his WAR this year, like, it was positive. He's still providing value to the team. He's just not lifting the ball as much. That's his problem.
Yeah. Because what I was saying, they did steamroll the Chi Sox, but I think they got like a little in their head, looking beyond their competition. It's like the Pittsburghs, when they would say, "Oh, let's go to the Patriots," and then they got steamrolled first round. I think the Cubs were, looking on, thinking that they could go further, and they just didn't look at the Marlins and didn't care, and ended up just getting smashed, getting stomped. And yeah, that's something that needs to change. This is Ross's first year as manager. I don't think he's gonna get fired. But I think something has to change.
The front office could see some changes.
Little
Yeah.
pause there. Now that you speak of managers, I just want to make a little short.
No,
Oh, God.
no.
Take here,
Oh,
Mattingly,
God.
Manager of the Year 2020, baby. It's gonna
Thanks,
happen.
thanks for your
That's
contributions.
probably true.
It should
Um,
happen, but yeah. I
Yeah,
want to move on to
I
the
think he's
Braves.
manager of the year. Just the amount of players that he turned from waivers into really good. That's good
Alright,
stuff.
let's
So
talk
the
about
second
the
last thing
Braves.
we'll be talking about is Reds Braves. Taco, resident Braves fan. I know I said that the Reds were gonna win. I know that didn't happen. I want you to let out some catharsis and yell at me, and tell me why the Reds just got stomped and the Braves went on to the NLDS.
All right. Well, first off, I'm not even going to talk about why the Reds were so bad. Let's talk about why the MLB is so terrible. The Braves were scheduled for a 12 o'clock noon game, both, what was it, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. A noon game during the week, and no one can watch that. And now we're scheduled for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 2 o'clock.
Tell
No
him.
one can watch these games. It's playoff baseball,
Yes,
and we're
sir.
getting
That is
absolutely
awful.
screwed.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
terrible
bad.
because
I
I know
agree
the Indians are big.
100%. Make it be known. Let it,
Well,
we need to have more people actually, tell MLB and let them know how like crappy their times are. Like
you're
if you're gonna
competing for time with the.
display playoff baseball, at least put it in a time where people are actually able to watch it.
You're,
They wonder why their ratings are so
you're
bad.
competing for
Thank
No
time
you.
one,
with the Yankees and the
Yeah.
and
Dodgers, though. If you,
no one is getting off of it.
Yeah,
like,
It's literally only
it's
Yankees.
playoff baseball. Yeah,
Yeah, every playoff baseball spot should be near or on prime time.
yeah, but then it's
That's what
like
I
you're
yeah, and I
taking
just
away
have
viewers
no
from.
words for it.
You're taking away viewers from
I
the
think that's a
Yankees
really
and the Dodgers, and that's why I think that's their idea
yeah.
behind it. So that's why they don't do it.
You can't have games at the same time in the playoffs because you got to watch all of them.
Then spread the playoffs out. It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Um,
the agreement was they can't go into November. So.
Okay. Anyway, continuing. Just venting my frustrations with getting screwed 2 consecutive series, and when we inevitably go on to the NLCS, we'll probably get screwed again.
Yeah.
But continue.
Inevitably, that's what
I
Connor
think the
said last
Braves.
week.
Yeah. I think the Braves pitching is really coming along. I think this year isn't going to be our year simply because of that Mike Soroka injury. We are missing that 1-2-3 punch right now. Ian Anderson has been absolutely wonderful for us this year. He's going to be one of the top candidates for Rookie of the Year next year. There's no doubt.
Is he qualified for Rookie of the Year next year?
Yes.
Ooh, interesting.
So go ahead and put your bets in. Ian Anderson, he's going to be Rookie of the Year.
If Dylan Carlson's
yeah,
still eligible, I got Dylan Carlson. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'll take Ian Anderson at a sub-2 ERA at 22 years old any day of the week. So Ian Anderson's been wonderful. He I wouldn't say out. He did outduel who was it? Luis Castillo in Game 2. He went 6 innings of 2-run, 2-walk baseball against. A semi sleepy offense, but
You
still,
mean no runs?
it's a Reds. I said 2 hits, 2 walks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no runs whatsoever, no earned runs, no unearned runs. He pitched amazing. He got out of jams. The one jam he had, he got out of. I think our bullpen is also carrying us this year, and it's showing in this playoffs as well. I am getting scared for these next couple games. If I feel like if we don't win these first 2 games, our shots are going to go way drastically down, simply because we don't have that back end of rotation.
You know what? I wanna
Sorry.
bring up 2 things about this series for you first. The Braves offense, they were kind of bad, like in the 2 games. Like I'm not gonna lie, like they were supposed to. I mean, I know the Reds pitching is really good, but I don't know. Like there was a lot of opportunities to drive in runs for both teams, and the Braves didn't really take advantage of that. So what do you think about that, like moving forward?
Well, I mean, the Braves have had multiple games like that, and then you look in the next day, we scored 29 runs. That's happened multiple times. Yeah, go ahead and laugh. So yeah, where our offense gets
No,
completely
but
stymied one day, and then it's just an explosion the next day.
I mean, but that's a good point because the Reds out hit the Braves like easily in game one. It was like 11 hits to like
Yeah.
4 or something. It's like, well, the Reds were so close. Like they loaded the bases like twice. They were so close to winning that game. Let's say they win that game. Maybe Braves win game 2. What if the Reds win game 3? Then we're not even talking about the Braves anymore. Like their offense nearly cost them the series against the Reds. Like that's gotta be a cause for concern.
I mean, game one, the only run that scored was a pinch runner by Christian Pache, and he's one of the fastest runners in all of baseball, and he's not even in MLB yet.
I also want to bring up another point. So, after the Braves won Game 2, Ronald Acuna Jr. went to Twitter and he kind of fired back at Trevor Bauer. Now, you as a fan of the Braves, would you want your team to go after a guy like Trevor Bauer in free agency? And do you think like something like that would
I
like
don't even know Taco's answer.
would you lower like would that lower your chances of getting him because Acuna is?
I think it lowers our chances, but I don't think Bauer is planning on coming to Atlanta in the first place. I think that he's had an issue with us ever since we played him with the Indian series. I think it was 2018, where we fouled everything off of him, and he got pissed and made a comment that we weren't trying to beat him, we were trying to beat the team, and we went on to win the game because we beat the bullpen and we didn't score a single run against him. So he's never liked the Braves, and he's never liked our management, and he's never liked our players. So I don't think he was ever going to come to the Braves in the first place.
Yeah, I think that would be a fat chance. Also, I don't see the Braves really wanting him.
Yeah, the Braves have too many amazing prospects coming along to spend a lot of money on a top tier starter. I mean, we have
Well,
Soroka, we have Fried, we have Anderson
We've
now.
seen teams before when they have a bunch of prospects coming in, they usually go for that one big guy to kind of lead the rotation. I would feel like Bauer would be the best fit for that, even though he's kind
The
of.
other thing is that you don't know how the prospects are gonna turn out. Like personally, I think Kyle Wright's a bust. He looks kind of bad. So like, how do you know that the other guys are gonna turn out okay? Like it looks like Soroka, Fried, and Anderson are the only pitchers we know are good.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
we still
remember-
have more coming up. We have Kyle Moeller, who is a power lefty.
The
Go ahead.
the problem is that I think the biggest thing that sticks out in my brain when talking about Braves prospects, sorry to bring up this name, is Fultonevich. He kind of just got destroyed on the mound in the postseason.
Well, let me stop you right there. Fultonevich was never a Braves prospect. He was gotten from the Astros, and he never really spent time in our prospect pool. He never spent time in our minor league. He went pretty much directly to our major league team, and he has one of the weakest mental game in all of baseball, and he was not developed by us at all.
You know what? I didn't know that because he started off in AAA in 2019. Yeah, okay, that's good to know. Makes me feel better about the Players lineup. So yeah, I think I agree with you. Braves, I don't think it's their year, but things are looking good down the pipeline. They have a few more years of contention. I think maybe the year could be coming up. All right, last series, and I put this one last because I'm biased. I think it had the best game of all of the postseason series. Yankees Indians. I was bold. I don't know. I wasn't the only person, but I stated pretty confidently that I thought the Indians were going to win. Obviously, that didn't happen. I think it has to do with a couple of things. I don't remember if I said it in the podcast itself or just in chats or whatever. But I thought like the Yankees needed to win games 1 and 2. If they didn't win games 1 and 2, they lost. I think they lose game 3 99% of the time because J.A. Happ's on the mound, and it's J.A. Happ.
That's the ace.
Yeah, Mr. You know,
More
exclamation
war than Ian Happ.
But I thought Ian Happ sucks though, so that's not.
Well,
yeah,
yeah, but
it's,
but like
you
if
know,
you're
okay,
saying
Cardinals, Cardinals and Cubs fan, please. This has nothing to do with the app. Please. Yeah, I said it, and I believe it. If we won that game
So,
2, if Redhand gets the save there, we win game 3. And we're talking about Yankees versus Rays.
turn
Or
it
not
off.
Yankees versus shit. We're talking about Indians versus Rays instead of the Yankees versus Rays. Um, I still really do believe that. The only problem,
Don't make
and
noise
I
on the
think
podcast.
it's a double-edged sword. I think
Mhm.
we rely too much on players that don't have a stone cold mental game. I think, Braves talking about, or Braves and Taco talking about Fultonevich. I think specifically Bieber just hadn't had postseason experience, and Ricky Carrasco was talking about it, and Sandy Alomar, our acting manager, talking about it, and said that he was very nervous, and he just kept asking them questions before the game because there was a couple days of rest. But he just kept asking questions, and of course, when he went out there, we saw what we saw versus Garrett Cole, being around the game in a few postseason, he was able to, you know, just glide through however much of the lineup he needed to. So I think relying on rookies really did burn us in game 1. Second, I think our inconsistency is also another issue. The Yankees pretty consistently score runs and pretty consistently um, you know, are able to at least keep others at bay. That's their plan, is to score a lot of runs and have their pitching not die so they can, keep the other team from not scoring as many. They've never been, pitching duel kind of people. Um, and then, aim 2.
I
Well,
want wait, hold on. I just want to talk about
about this.
this a bit because I think the Yankees were never gonna have a chance if they didn't beat Shane Bieber in Game 1. So
Yeah, I think they had to win both of those games. If
yeah,
they
but uh, Bieber, he was that was his first postseason start, right?
correct.
Um, the Yankees, they also had a good approach against them. I think they were pretty prepared for him. They were kind of forcing him away from using his curveball too much, and so there was a lot of pitches left in the zone. So I think the
Yeah, they
Yankees,
definitely were able to stave off his general pattern.
yeah,
And out really well. But I also think Bieber was just not on his game, and I
that's probably
it has
factors
more to
into
do
it.
with it. Than I think I think it has more to do with it than the Yankees preparing. Because if Bieber had that experience, if he knows they know everything about me right now, if he's maybe a few years older, has been in this situation before, and he can flip a switch and say, "Oh, this is what I need to do now." Ends up pitching to what his potential very obviously is, being probably the Cy Young candidate um, or the AL.
Also, people are saying that Bieber all season only pitched against the Pirates, the Royals, the Tigers.
I hate those people.
So
Every single team gets opponents to beat up on. Yankees were telling me that, and they get to pitch against the Red Sox and Orioles, and also the Nationals. Get out of here! Like, please. People tell me Davey Garcia is good, and he only had one game versus a quality opponent, and he got smashed. Like, just get out of my face with that. If you want to talk about, having good matchups, talk about you guys being able to farm East competition and how bad they don't want
Yeah.
to. You get to play the Mets, you get to play the Nationals, you get to
the
play
Mets have a pretty good
Reds.
offense, actually.
They are, but then, it doesn't matter because you score 10 runs on them.
Yeah.
How good their offense is, as long as you have a pitching staff, then you're good. it's really frustrating that people were trying to go at that angle because that's just not the case. So that's game one. Game two, I think, was the best game of the entire postseason so far. It was high scoring. It went back and forth. I had a little bit of drama because it started when it was whoring cats and dogs out because the MLBs.
That was
Um,
terrible management of.
that was some of the worst management by Rob Manfred I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Of weather situation. And then the next day, it was scheduled, quote unquote, Marlins Cubs, the Cubs Stadium to have rain, so they just canceled the game. There was no rain. There was never any rain at all.
Yeah.
They were scared to face the bottom feeders.
Yeah, it was utterly ridiculous how that played out. So first we got caught up in, a hurricane. That obviously a game. Second, John Tumpane is the worst balls and strikes umpire in the entire league.
Nope. That's
No
that's
problem.
that's the guy that single-handedly
He saved somebody that was gonna jump off the Clemente Bridge. Don't
Yeah,
talk
dude,
bad
what the
about
hell?
John
Yeah.
Tumpane.
Yeah. No,
Nah,
fuck
we're
That
not
does-
talking
that doesn't
about the
make him a
fake
good
rapper
umpire,
Rob
though.
Drake, dude.
I don't even care, dude. I don't care. Hernandez.
I
It's
like
not-
John.
We're getting
Tumpane.
canceled here.
I don't even care, dude. He's the worst balls and strikes umpire.
Is that
Every si-
statistically, or you just bringing, or you just saying that?
No, I think he's really bad because I think he very obviously changed the course of the game. There were, I think, 16 walks between both of the teams, which wasn't a record, but it was very close to being one. And I think it had a lot to do with Tumpane's strike zone, which was literally fucking silly string. You could just, you know, spray paint, go zigzag, do a cross, and then put it on his face, and then boom, that's the strike zone.
Not gonna lie, you
Absolutely.
sound bitter that you lost the series.
Yes,
I mean,
but I think it has mostly to. Think it has to do with John Tumpane because there was a very high amount of walks.
I
I
watched
pull-
that series too. I don't think the umpires were that bad.
did you have a
Connor, you- shut up.
what was the reaction when Gio Urshela hit the grand slam?
I wasn't
Uh,
watching
I
at
was-
that time.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I think I had walked away. I was, I think, doing dishes, but I saw the grand slam and I was like, "Yep." That specific instance is why I wanted to talk about Sandy Alomar. Sandy Alomar is an acting manager. He hadn't even done the full year with the Indians, but Terry Francona is still out, so he is the postseason manager, and it showed. So let me take you through this situation. Bases are loaded. There is one out. You have an entire bullpen of guys who can either strike people out or get ground balls. Because you have Maton, Whitgren, and Perez, all of which pitched very well throughout the regular season. We had a couple mess ups. Or you have someone who's supposed to be best reliever in baseball, but has never been in a dirty inning, ever been put into a dirty inning situation. Always been put into clean innings. Has never been put into a high leverage situation because of that. And you're putting him in bases loaded, one out. He's also a rookie. Guess who you put in that situation if you're Sandy Alomar? You put in Karinchak. I don't get why. That is the one singular thing that lost us the game was that grand slam, and that grand slam would not have happened if it was any other pitcher on the mound.
Weren't there no outs at the time though?
It was one out.
But Karinchak
One
is
out,
like
okay.
the
One out
best
was
reliever.
if you get a ground ball. If you get a ground ball, you do it. Carrasco is a ground ball pitcher. He was on at the time. I understand taking him out, but you don't put in Perez, who gets ground balls. You don't put in Whitgren, who I think has a decent carry between fly and ground. You put in Karinchak, who was all or nothing. Either he was striking the guy out, or he was getting a grand slam, or he was walking him.
But
maybe.
wasn't Karinchak like your best reliever of the
Yes,
entire
but he's a
season?
rookie and has never been put into a high
Yeah,
leverage
but-
situation.
But
not
he's-
once.
he's being used as a high leverage pitcher, I guess, because he's the best pitcher. That was a high
No,
leverage.
he never he recorded. I don't think he recorded one save.
You have to put some fault on Brad Hand too.
I was gonna bring him up too.
Well, obviously, hands. It was a big problem, but he didn't get out of it after giving up only 2 instead of 4 runs.
League
let's-
leader in save, but he blew the biggest one.
Aaron check. He had 4 save opportunities. He got through 1 of them and blew 3 of them. So obviously, you put that guy in who can't handle high leverage, and put him, in the bases loaded 1 out situation. Obviously, that's what you do.
Alright, since we're talking about managing decisions, how about pinch hitting Josh Naylor for, what was it, Jordan
Or-
Luplow?
No,
Luplow.
Luplow for
You think
Naylor.
he got bailed out there, or like was that a dumb decision?
No, I don't like that either. You know what the problem is with that? Naquin batted like crap all series. And he was batting like crap before we went into the series. He was batting on crap in the regular season.
He walked off against the White Sox.
Yeah, no. Luplow. Yeah, Luplow did
Yeah,
against the White Sox.
Luplow.
Talking about Naquin. Luplow is
Oh,
not
okay.
the starting lineup for in both of those games. Naquin is instead. Luplow should have been in there the whole time. I think he's hitting way better. You just put you put Naquin in instead of Luplow, and you put Delino in center. And I think he made 2 errors throughout 2 games in the postseason. He was bad in center field. I'm so glad he's not in center field anymore because he's a free agent, I believe. So it was mostly the managing that I had a problem with. I think if we had Terry Francona, I think we win that easily. Maybe even if Shane Bieber still immolates and destroys himself on the mound, I think we still win in 3. But Sandy Alomar, he got in the way. That's all right.
Okay, we haven't
But
talked
it's-
about the Randy Rosarena series.
Shut up. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about Randy Rosarena.
Can we at least debate whether the Rays or Yankees are gonna win?
Oh, that's
Yeah, I
something
was
that's
gonna
right.
go on to. Yeah, I was gonna go on to right now the series that we have to go on to. So that was all of the wild card series. I don't know. Let's go
It
to.
was pretty wild, dude. What do you think?
It was pretty wild.
I think they should call it the Pretty Wild series.
Yeah, the Wild Thing series, because there was a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, man. I think it was insane, but a Pretty Wild series. It really
Yeah.
was.
Wild
The only
thing.
thing, I think the only thing that I want to change is make it 17. Don't make it 8. So it's
I think-
it's one wild card.
I think 12 would be fine.
I just want
Yeah.
the old format back.
12 or 14. If you have to do a wild card series, give the division winners a bye. And then
Top
don't
two
like
make
I
seeds
it.
said,
to
like-
buy.
See, like, it's wild card. Like teams who are actually like labeled as wild card don't feel like wild card teams. So I feel like we should just rename the whole wild card series to Wild Series, dude. It's Wild Series.
That's a dumb idea.
No,
I think
no.
I don't speak about the seeding.
I think.
I think
Oh, go on.
first. So I think the first 3 should be division winners, and then the next 5 should just be based on record. Cause like you
Or
got
that.
the Chicago White Sox in 7 seed, and then you got the Astros at 6 when they're under 500,
Yeah.
and they could they should play they should play the A's instead of the Twins.
Well, I think the reason they did that this year is because they didn't play out of the division. But next year they probably would do that. See,
I think they are going to change.
Yeah.
They're going to get.
This year
lots of backlash.
the seating was kind of messed up, but they kind of just had to work with what they had, so it's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It wasn't great,
See,
but it definitely produced some good moments.
I'm
so
just gonna
not
say I
too-
like the 10-team format, but I am
Me
not.
too.
yes.
I used to like trash on it. And I'm actually like
I'm not
okay
opposed
with
to the
it.
16 teams. You know, that's
I feel
That's my
like
take.
the
I'm
thing they should
opposed to
like
the
kind of
16
fix a bit
teams.
is the fact
Just
that
fits the seating for
first
me.
place teams just
Yeah.
usually just cruise, and then it's mainly the fight between wild card teams and the people and like the teams in second place. I feel like that, first place should get a little more competition. But
I
other than
think
that, it's pretty
how
cool.
you how do you get more competition in first place? Take off shitty teams like the Brewers. There you go. You have a decent
12
series.
teams or 14 teams works for me.
Yeah, 12 or
10.
14, I think, is what should happen. If we have to do a wild card, I agree. 10 is
8.
probably
Take it or leave it.
no. We're
12.
not going back to 1980. Um, but if we have to do a wild card series, I say we do 12, and you let people have buys and what have you. I think that's my biggest problem. I don't mind best of three, but I don't think top seeds should be playing best of three. I think that's really silly. I don't really like it.
Hmm.
I think that's everyone about the wild card series. Now we have the AL and NLDS, the next round of postseason. So I'm going to talk
Yeah.
about probably the most postseason uh, series first. Astros Athletics. Does anyone actually care about this? Can anyone pipe up and say,
Nope.
Mike Fires,
Yo, let's go
the
Athletics.
whistleblower, Mike
Go
Fires.
A's.
go A's, please destroy the
Yo,
Astros?
yo,
Anyone did-
What if Mike Fires throws a
I'll,
perfect game against the Astros in the playoffs? That would be
Yeah,
that
and
would
then
be
he has
super cool.
like a glob of pine tar on his head. Yeah.
yo, let me talk just a second about the Astros A series, cause um, I looked at like the Astros against the Twins, like they didn't even hit very well. Like I think
Yeah.
like Tucker and Correa kind of carried their offense, and everyone else just sucked. But the A's
Yeah.
against the White Sox, everyone was contributing, like Sean Murphy,
Yeah,
Marcus Simeon,
those were all
Chris
pretty deep
Davis.
scoring games.
Tommy La Stella did good. Chad Pinder
Chris
was good. I
Davis.
feel like the A's have a more well-rounded offense, and they can hit better than the Astros. And the Twins, like their offense was amazing last year, but they just never got it going this year. So I do think that the A's will take that series because they're much better than the Twins.
I I do agree. Uh, shout out to the Athletics. Please win against the Astros. I think that's all we have to say.
We have to talk about the best series, which is the other
Uh,
ALDS. I think me and Connor
Please.
have some strong feelings about this one.
So I want to get my pundits out of the way. This is Rays Yankees. Please God, Rays win. I cannot stress enough how much I want the Rays to win because I hate the Yankees. I hate every single one minus JMS. It's just every single fan is awful. I want all the bandwagoners to just leave. So please win. I want you to. Connor, a hero, please start the dogfighting now.
All right, okay, here we go. This season,
No,
this season at home, the Yankees hit 266, and on the road they hit 226 with a 677 OPS. The Yankees can't hit away from the
okay.
Yankee
What
Stadium,
happened? What happened
much
at Progressive?
less,
What
much
happened
less
at
Petco
Progressive?
Park.
Okay,
What
okay,
happened to
okay.
Progressive?
Let-
Wait, Progressive is. Wait, let me go check.
He's gonna
Progressive.
check
It's
the
a hitter's park.
yeah, check the park factor on.
Progressive is also a hitter's park. Tropicana is
Progressive is the hitter's park. Tropicana and Petco Park are very pitcher-friendly parks, and it'll work towards the Rays' advantage.
All right, the only Yankees hitter who needs a short porch to hit home runs is DJ LeMahieu.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. It's true.
No, Brett Gardner needs it.
Brett Gardner, he's not barely even in the lineup
Aaron
anymore,
Hicks
alright?
might need it.
That's not the point here. Okay, the
This
Yankees.
year, Gary Hansen.
Gio Urshela would need it to right field, I bet.
hero.
You're forgetting the.
No, you brought it up. You can't just say that's not the point.
Well,
Kyle
yeah,
Higashioka
but, like-
and Clint Frazier might need it to right.
Clint Frazier has a lot of power. We saw it at City Field at one point.
Yeah, but those were the left. I mean, if you want
Sure,
And the
to
Mets
but-
suck.
I just want to say, like, you're forgetting the
Lol
Yankees.
Mets.
The Yankees had that
Oh,
like 10-game losing streak where they had nothing going for them, alright? So even away from home or whatever it was, they're not that bad as the stats show. Luke Voigt, he has a very drastic split, like road home, but he's still Luke Voigt, he still hits moonshots and
No, he's different on the road. He's not Luke Voigt. He's just bad.
that's
Like, why do you think the Cardinals traded him away?
that's
Because
not
they
why the
play at
Cardinals
Busch.
traded him away, but
No, they play at Bush. He wouldn't have done anything there. Like,
that's
I don't think it was even a bad trade trading Luke
it
Voigt
was
to the
not a
Yankees
bad
because they
trade.
got Gio
I agree.
Gallegos, who's good.
Although
And Luke
Gallegos
Voigt
did.
probably would not have hit very well at Bush, right? So
Well,
now he's gonna play at Petco Park against the Rays' good pitching staff. Like, there's
you know
no
what?
way
When
that
Luke
the Yankees
Voigt
win
hits
this
3
series.
home runs in this series, I'm gonna be laughing at
Like
you.
the Rays at Tropicana against like not the worst pitching staff. I mean, Hyunjin Ryu is a Cy Young candidate in my opinion.
He's a former
they
Dodger.
destroyed him.
He has choking in his blood.
No, he didn't even choke in the
He-
last postseason.
Well, he
Okay,
pitched
no,
terribly.
but listen. The Rays hitters are so much better. Okay, Randy Arozarena had like the best series ever. He had 3 runs. He had a 1556 OPS on 4
Fight,
hits,
fight,
2 doubles and a
fight,
triple.
fight.
This man is so good, and the Cardinals traded him away. Not to mention Manuel Margot, who the Padres traded away. That was stupid. And then Mike Brasso is gonna have a revenge series just like he did.
No,
in
he's
that game
not.
after he
Those
almost got
those were
hit.
the bad Yankees. The good Yankees won 10 games in a row. Okay.
No. The bad Yankees are the ones that play on the road, which they're gonna do in San Diego. Okay.
Nope. The good Yankees are gonna
Not
sweep.
to mention Brandon Lau. Brandon Lau only had 2 hits in the series against the Blue Jays. Wait till he starts getting hot against the Yankees, dude. There's just no way that the Yankees win the series.
I think it's a tale of two pitching staffs.
It's going to
think-
5, right? And the Yankees are gonna win in 5.
I'm not arguing that it's gonna go to 5, but
The
if it does go to
Yankees
5,
are
the Rays
winning
are
in
gonna
5. Look,
dominate.
I know the
think
Rays have a
no, no,
much
no.
better pitching staff. They're super deep team. They have a good.
the problem with the Yankees, I think, is depth. I think if you to put 4 and 5 stars out for the Yankees, I'd rather just shoot myself.
All right, look, I'm gonna say this. I don't care who pitches for the Rays. They're not gonna beat Garrett Cole. That's the Yankees take game 1 there, all right? Whoever game 2 you have
The Rays have already
Tanaka.
beaten Garrett Cole.
I
What
yeah, I
makes you think
disagree.
they're
That
gonna
was
do it again?
Garrett Cole in his bad stretch.
All right, hero.
Who says he's not gonna be bad again? Maybe
He-
it was his bad stretch.
He
because
figured
he's
it
playing
out
the Rays. They were
eventually,
even
right?
thinking
It's
about
not.
it.
It's not
Reminder
about the
that he
Rays.
gave 2 homers to Josh Naylor of all fucking people. but-
Josh Naylor's a beast, though. It doesn't even count.
Josh Naylor went like 0 for 5 after that. I don't want to really hear it. He's bad. Garrett
You
Cole,
can't say Garrett Cole is like going through a hot stretch just because he faces like the Orioles and Red Sox or something.
Garrett
Like,
Cole
like,
is
that's not
Garrett
what
Cole.
hap-
We've seen Garrett Cole. You know who he is. He's a
It
Cy Young
doesn't matter.
caliber
The Rays
pitcher.
Randy
you know, I
Arozarena
have
will destroy
actually,
him.
I've actually seen 2020 Garrett Cole. It's not looking bright, hero. Sorry.
I think people are overstating that he has
Even
a
the
down year.
Indians' offense scored against him, and the Indians' offense was horrible.
2 runs.
So,
That's a quality
Indians-
start. He had like 13 strikeouts or whatever it was. He was.
Indians offense was pretty stinky. It was pretty stinky first game.
It's
So
not like
that's
it's not like he did bad against the Indians. He shut them down. They had no chance to beat him.
Yeah, except Josh.
I really do think Petco Park is going to give Garrett Cole such an advantage that I don't think the Rays can beat Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole's, if he gives up runs, it's home runs. And at Petco Park, you don't hit home runs there.
the Rays aren't even a home run hitting team, though.
Oh,
Like,
that's
they just-
actually false. Petco Park, it has a higher than average home run rate.
Those are really okay.
Well,
Never
well
mind.
it's probably just because the Padres hitters are really good this year.
Yeah, but
Like,
the
it
Rays-
bases,
It never used to
it specifically bases park factor.
Okay, well,
Home
yeah,
team.
fine. The park factor, maybe, yeah.
You know what? Hunter Renfro's a former Padre. That's actually pretty interesting. I might feel more comfortable at Petco Park.
Ooh, that's true. And Hunter Renfro. Dude, Hunter Renfro, too.
Yeah, this
Coming
is actually
back to Petco Park.
But I'm not agreeing with you. I'm just saying the Yankees are gonna win in 5.
Ooh, dude, that's a good point. Okay. You're making me think even more. Hunter Renfro and Manuel Margot, huge series. And they're going to be good in the outfield. Oh, dude. Easy win.
Alright, I'm just gonna. Okay, Charlie Morton's gonna choke in Game 3, so that's gonna be Yankees are gonna be leading 2-1 at that point. Okay. Okay, the Yankees will be up 2-1
Cubs
like
and
game.
It
Cardinals.
doesn't matter. Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow will carry them
The
through the
Cubs
series.
Cardinals fans have to argue about other teams because theirs are out of the postseason.
All right, let's go argue about the Braves Marlins then. I don't care.
I don't know. We're gonna
There's
talk
nothing to
about
argue. The
Dodgers
Is there,
Marlins
Padres.
is there really anything to
The
argue
Marlins
about
are
that
winning that
series?
easily. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Dodgers Padres first because I want to give Alex.
Okay,
a
that
little bit
one
of
is.
time. I feel bad not letting Alex talk.
No, it's okay.
No, speak.
What if I don't want to?
No, you're talking
But-
right. What do you think about the
This is-
series?
What do you think about the Dodgers Padres series?
Oh, Dodgers in 4.
You're
Easily.
not, you're not gonna put any more context on that.
That's
Just
it.
stop.
We've been able to shut down that offense.
You really think it's gonna
before.
take 4,
I think-
not 3, maybe? No.
I would be like 3. That'd be cool. Just like 2017, you know, shut out the D-backs. Do it again.
Right,
Well,
but
this
the
is not the
Padres aren't the
D-backs,
same
so
thing as
these
the
Padres
D-bags.
these are the Slam Diego Padres, not the D-backs.
Yes, but we've been historically well against NL West teams. I think I'll show that again.
I think I like the
Yeah.
Dodgers' chances without Lamet and Clevenger if they're not gonna pitch. I think if
See,
Yeah.
I think that's the interesting thing. I think if Lamette and Clevenger don't pitch, I think it's a done deal. I think it's a wash.
yeah,
think
but
the
if they
I
pitch, the
mean-
Padres actually have a pretty good chance to move on, in my opinion.
Yeah. So Davies is there. Paddock is there. Clevenger was.
Tatis.
Paddock is garbage.
Fernando, Tatis has been killing
Tatis,
it.
Tatis is great. Clevenger was throwing bullpens, and it's potential that he does start a game in the postseason. We don't have the rosters yet. Don't know if he's on it or not, but
Actually,
that-
I did see an update earlier that Clevenger was throwing a bullpen, so that might be a good sign for the Padres.
Yo, let's not forget they're playing this in Arlington, and that's kind of a big pitcher-friendly park, and the Padres rely on home runs. So if they can't hit them there, then they might lose because the
That's
Dodgers
true.
pitch well, and they don't necessarily rely on home runs.
yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
Dodgers
we
can
only
hit
hit
anywhere
one
they
hit-
want.
Yeah, and the wild card series, we only hit 1 home run.
Yeah, mind you, that's because you just didn't need to.
Oh yeah,
Was that
You just
AJ
get like
Pollock,
two
or-
hits.
no, it was Corey
Yeah.
Seager.
But also, the
yes.
Padres did hit like 4 grand slams at Arlington, you know, so.
You're right, but that was against Rangers. pitching, so-
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really countable. Yeah, I think it has mostly to do with like if Clevenger's healthy, and if and only if Lamette can pitch at 3 games rest. I doubt it. If he can pitch in the game 5, I think that a Dodgers take pretty easily because of the depth of the pitching staff. Pitch can pull a Trevor Bauer, pitch 3 games rest. Then think the Padres have a pretty decent chance if Clevenger, if and only if Clevenger is around. But that remains to be seen. I don't know how Clevenger is going to be after said injury. I don't know if the Padres or Dodgers offense is going to be much different. I got into an argument with the Dodgers fan just a couple hours ago. But the numbers point to the Padres offense being better in the postseason so far. Mind you, they've played 3 and 2 games respectively, but numbers don't lie.
Numbers do lie if it's such a small sample size. Like, it led Cubs fans to think Ian Happ was good, so that's how you know.
Well,
Dude.
the numbers-
Hero.
the Dodgers-
Bro, shut up! I don't want to hear about the Cubs.
The Dodgers,
The Cubs aren't in the
the Dodgers-
postseason.
the Dodgers are playing the Brewers, and okay, they pitched Brandon Woodruff and Brent Suter, and I don't know, but the Brewers pitching's been okay, and the Cardinals pitched Jack Flaherty, so I think the Padres offense, of course, is going to be better because they're facing all these bad pitchers, Daniel Ponce de Leon.
Hold on,
Austin
are you
Gomber.
you're saying Jack Flaherty's a bad pitcher even though he pitched 6
No,
innings?
that one was a joke. But seriously, Ponce de Leon and Gomber did bad. I mean, like, what do you expect?
Gomber, he kind of bounced back a bit. I mean,
Gomber doesn't throw enough strikes. Like, that's his problem.
Gomber has good
So
potential.
I think if you look at the quality of pitching stats, maybe if they still had Corbin Burns,
Yeah,
I think
Corbin Burns too.
I think the
Um,
Cardinals
wasn't
have
he-
the Cardinals have a lot of unexperienced pitchers, and that's why they
yeah,
kind
I
of
think that was the same thing with the Indians.
yeah.
But I think getting to those inexperienced pitchers isn't a bad thing, and I don't think it's something that is something that you can devalue your offense with, and
Yeah,
that's why I
the
think
Dodgers, they have a lot of experience. That's the difference there, you know.
yeah,
I don't know if experience matters that much. I mean, Sandy Alcantara and Sixto Sanchez beat Kyle Hendricks
It's the
and Yu
Cubs. It doesn't
Darvish,
even
and both
count,
have
man.
postseason experience. Yo.
It's the Cubs lineup, man. Does that they can't compare the lineups here.
And I mean,
Cubs scored
Max-
20 in 2 games.
And then they
Yeah.
scored 1 run in 2 games in the playoffs.
The Reds didn't score any. So
What does that have
Shut
anything
up.
to do?
the postseason experience really hasn't been showing up this year at all.
That's
I think
true.
the only like real case where that happened was Shane Bieber. I think that's the only game where that was a major factor. You know, Shane Bieber was anxious and wasn't able to change up his game plan, and Garrett Cole was Garrett Cole in the playoffs. So
Another reason for that could be that the other divisions are just so much better in the Central, and Shane Bieber got to face horrible teams the whole year, and maybe
No,
his
we
arm-
already talked
Oh,
about this.
horrible teams. Yeah, Cole never faced fucking Red Sox, nor the Nationals, nor the Orioles.
Well,
No.
Cole faced the Rays and the Braves.
The
and
Orioles
Yeah,
are
he lost
pretty,
to the Braves.
The Orioles had a pretty good
Same.
offense too, you know.
Yeah, bro.
That's
Never,
true.
never, ever. No Orioles. No Red Sox. No
The
Nationals.
Red Sox
Well,
also
I'm
had a
not
good
saying
offense
the
though.
Central's bad.
Dodgers-
What was the Central's track
Dodgers,
record in
they
the
never
playoffs,
faced
so-
the Diamondbacks, bro. They never faced
The
the
Diamondbacks
Rangers.
had Starling Marte
Only
and
the
Ketel
Cleveland
Marte.
Indians. Only the Indians. Can it like?
Okay, but you have to. Okay,
Look,
look.
Look,
on,
every other
man.
Central team lost.
Yeah, I mean, just look out of
You shit, Lord. I don't want to hear it.
there's there's no super teams in the Central. If you like, look at the other divisions, they have super teams. The Central doesn't have any.
The Marlins are a super team.
Yale Central had the only
Marlins super team.
It was the only division with 3 35-game winners. I don't care. I want to hear it. I'm be toxic. I don't care.
Okay, I mean, sure. I
Have to
mean,
face the Tigers and Royals, but okay.
okay. Anyways, the Dodgers.
Anyways, so I think Dodgers Padres series we've gotten over a good deal of it. Yeah, we'll post
Let's
predictions.
talk about the Marlins.
Oh God.
And
Braves in
Braves.
3, Braves in 3, Braves in 3.
I don't know.
Nah,
Marlins.
I think the Marlins are gonna win one.
Marlins in
Yeah.
5. How about that?
I got Braves in 4.
I got Marlins in 5. That sounds pretty good to me.
Look, I think the Marlins could do it. I'm not denying that. But then again, I've watched this team all year. Braves has been probably the team that have given us the most trouble.
Yeah.
But Jordan Yamamoto's not pitching though.
Look.
So,
But Pablo Sanchez is.
yeah.
No, but
Pablo.
then again, when Pablo pitched in that blowout game, Alfaro was the guy who was catching him. And
Chad
then when
Wallach.
Wallach was catching the guy, my dad Wallach.
No, Pablo
he
Alfaro
yeah.
was out in right field, remember?
Yeah. Well, yeah, eventually in the
Wait, what do you
game.
mean Arthur was in right field?
No, I'm not joking.
No, yeah, when the whole blowout thing happened, they put Alfaro in right
I
field.
love blowout games. They're such memes.
But yeah, when Pablo pitched well against the Braves in Atlanta, it was when Wallach was catching his
Like?
games, and the guy behind the plate or whatever. But I feel like if Mattingly keeps starting Wallach, I feel like games won't end up to those blowouts. But I do feel like they gotta play Alfaro's, at least in a game or two. So that.
And
How
that's how
about-
catching works.
What about
Catching's hard.
DHing him maybe? Because he's a pretty good hitter.
Wait, who?
Like DH Alfaro.
But what
Yeah.
about Cooper and Aguilar?
But the thing is, you gotta put
Cooper's
you gotta
DHing?
play
I
Cooper.
didn't even know that.
Yeah, Cooper's DH. It's either Cooper DH or Aguilar DH.
All right.
So
That's how it's
I
built.
just want to point out that the most runs ever scored in a playoff game is 23. So that's 24 is our goal.
You're aiming for 24.
Famous last words. You're gonna get shut out in all three.
Yeah, he's Jinx.
Watch.
Imagine a 3-game shutout.
Watch one of our.
Alcantara, Sixto, and Lopez all perfect games.
No, watch. No, the funniest thing would be is if one of our pitchers get injured and Mattingly is just high on something and he's like, you know, let's have Yamamoto start. Man, throws a
Let's
complete
go.
game, no hitter.
That would be.
You know,
That would be fun.
if he pitches and has any form of success in the playoffs, I'm gonna like it'd be insane.
Yeah,
who's-
our
who'd you-
roster is going to look very different than the one we played with the wild card because we actually only came with 3 starters to the wild card game, so we actually need
You
to
only
bring
have
2
three
more.
starters.
Really?
Well, yeah, we only have 3, but we can also play Unoa. We can play Bryce Wilson. But
Bryce
it's
Wilson
a problem.
really
It's a
destroyed the
problem.
Marlins.
I think that has a lot to do
See, the reason why
either-
why I'm unironically picking the Marlins in 5 is because the Braves rotation is just not. It's not that
I
good.
think if
Then again, I kind of want to see the Cinderella run continue.
I can't wait to expose old takes after this.
I think Unoa pitches game 5, and I think he gets us 4 innings to get to our long relievers, Tama and Dayton, and then they can get us to the back end of our rotation.
Grant Dayton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. Marlins and Braves both not have great backs of the rotation, and they're going to need it going on out.
Wait, you said we don't have a good back end of the rotation?
And keep in mind that the only reason the back end of our rotation doesn't exist is because of a season-ending injury to Soroka.
We have Trevor Rogers. The guy pitched really well against the Yankees. I think they should give him a chance.
The bad Yankees.
At
Shut up
home?
about the
Ah,
bad
he-
good Yankees.
At home?
Yankees.
And then they could also put in Castano, who pitched again really good against the Yankees, on
Yankees.
I believe game 3.
I
At
think they have
home.
things to do it, but they're not consistent enough to where I can call them. That makes any sense. Enough of them to say that they're surefire wins or they're surefire duelists versus the back end of the Braves rotation.
Yeah, I prefer Wright over any 4 or 5 that the Marlins can play.
That I agree with that as well.
Wright has really turned the corner these last 3 or 4 games. He's gone 5, 6 innings of shutout baseball.
You think
He's done
the
amazing. these
no
past
off
couple
days,
games.
no off days in the division series kind of hurts a team like the Braves, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot.
So the Braves really want to win. We have to go in,
Yeah,
win
have to.
early, and if we want to go to the World Series, we have to get this done in 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, if you go to game 5, you're toasted. I think
It's-
you don't have any chance.
Yeah, whether we win game 5 or not, we're going to lose the championship, the NLCS. If we go to a game 5 and
I
waste our
disagree.
bullpen.
I have the Braves winning the World Series.
But you're dumb.
No. Yeah, no. I want to see it happen, but no. I don't think so.
I think next year.
Anyway,
We'll let the facts speak for themselves.
yeah, I
Okay,
think
but-
next year, if you don't get any season-ending awful injuries like what happened to Soroka, then I think you have a better chance.
So we wanna go down the line making predictions and then wrap it up with some.
If that's what I was going to get on to next. So we have 4 series of 4 predictions per. I'm going to go Connor first. Please give us your predictions.
Let's go.
We'll see.
Okay, Braves are gonna beat the Athletics in 7 games.
We're talking about the
and-
division
Well,
series here. Hold
well,
on.
Braves are gonna beat the
Hold
Athletics.
your horses,
But
but
I have to give all my predictions.
the division
Okay.
series first.
Fine. Okay,
Braves-
Braves
yeah,
over
Braves.
the Braves over Rays over the Yankees, A's over the Astros, Dodgers over the Padres, Braves over the Marlins, and then
That's
Braves
incredible.
Athletics
No.
series, and
We
then
don't-
Braves.
We don't care about that part. We don't care about that.
No,
We just,
oh,
we
please,
just-
please. Okay.
Please,
You really want your
Connor.
takes to be exposed later, don't you?
Okay,
No,
alright, fine.
either later
That's fine.
for
Alright.
AL and DS and CS are for memeing about later. All right. So Hero, you next.
Alright, I'm gonna say Yankees over Rays, A's over Astros, Dodgers over Padres, and Marlins over Braves.
Yankees over Rays is probably like one of the biggest memes.
It's not a meme. I honestly think the Yankees have this.
I don't know.
They're gonna
I
win.
think it's a meme.
Well, they're
I
gonna
don't
win
care
in
if you
4.
think it's a
It's not even gonna go to 5. They're gonna win in 4.
Rays in 3, man. I
If you
hope.
say so, man.
Really hope
I
3.
go to John. I want to hear what John has to say.
I got Tampa winning New York.
No, you're wrong.
Oakland is gonna take Houston, hopefully. I could kind of see the playoff, routine for the Dodgers coming back to haunt them again. Padres advancing, and this one's the heartbreak, but I feel like this is it for Miami. Atlanta moving on.
It's been fun.
That's mine.
Okay,
Alex?
Okay. I'll start with the AL. First
Sure.
with the Astros and A's. I'm hoping for the A's to win it, hopefully in a 3-game sweep. And for the Yanks Rays, I'm hoping Yanks in 4. I mean, not Yanks in 4, Rays in 4.
Oh,
Thank you.
Okay, for the NL, I'll start for the Marlins Braves. It could be Braves in 4. And for me, it could be Padres in 3.
what?
Padres in
Dodgers
3?
Wait, are you
Dodgers in
Interesting.
4.
Yeah, I was about to say
Okay.
Dodgers fan going on.
Hold on.
But
The
yeah,
stream,
Dodgers in
hold
4,
on. The
sure.
stream kind of did disconnect a
Taco?
little bit.
Right. So I got the Rays over the Yankees in 4. I've also got the A's over the Astros in 5. I've got the Dodgers over the Padres also in 5, and then I've got Braves over the Marlins in 4.
Okay. Why Astros or Athletics over Astros in 5? Why 5?
I got a feeling that the Astros offense is going to come up alive a little bit. They've been made fun of so much all year. I feel like that they're going to have a good series. I don't think their pitching is good enough to keep them up with the Athletics, but I really do think that their offense is going to come alive a little bit.
Right. Do we want to do personal?
That's
Altuve hitting
fair.
a grand slam
fair.
off of
As for
Chapman.
me,
Chapman.
Matt
Just,
Chapman's gonna come back to
yeah, Matt.
just making a meme.
It's gonna come back from
All
Tommy John.
right, so my predictions. So I want to preface something. I'll preface it in a bit. Athletics over Astros in 4. A's over Yankees in 4, I'd say. Braves, Marlins, Braves in 4. Or no, hold on. Let me think a little bit. Use my brain. I'm gonna say Marlins because I like the Marlins. And I have to preface. I have to preface something. If the Padres have Clevenger, I think Padres in 5. If the Padres do not have Clevenger, it's Dodgers in 4. So I want to future-proof myself a little bit. I think the Padres should win if the Clevenger is healthy.
Okay.
No, that's our prediction.
We want to do the personality
This has
questions
been
or no?
the MLB AfterHours Podcast.
Hello?
I do hope everyone enjoyed watching.
Are we not? We're not gonna do the.
This will be saved here, uploaded to YouTube shortly enough. So it's been good. Anyone have any
Are we not
final
gonna?
thoughts?
Are we not gonna
before-
do
James,
the?
unblock me.
Yeah,
Are we
yeah,
not gonna?
JMS. Yeah, James, please unblock Connor. He's asked.
Are we gonna do the personality
man.
questions or
Sorry.
no?
Yeah, also, Cardinals suck.
Hello.
Oh,
Wait,
Uh,
I want to make fun.
can you not?
Chad Wallach is my daddy.
Can you not hear me or
Okay. Anyone else?
can you hear me?
Alex, yours?
Kershaw, World Series MVP.
He's out.
Hello?
He's back in.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
I was gonna say we're gonna do the personal question stuff or not.
No, we're not gonna do the
Like I don't know, you could be like,
Yeah.
what was your favorite player growing up, something like that. You know?
Submit personal questions you'd like us to answer.
Yes,
There's-
the really personal
There's
questions.
there's nobody in the chat.
Just DM Hero Brian, and we'll do them next time. okay?
Yeah, I mean,
That's
Oh, we could do
Still-
that and get them out of the MLB.
okay.
chat.
What was your if you watched baseball as a child or growing up, what was the best moment you witnessed live?
no.
John has like addiction.
We're not gonna talk to John yet, right? How about you, Connor? What do you have to say?
What do you mean? I watched the Cubs win the World Series.
Oh, right, that happened. Okay.
You wish it didn't.
What do you
Whatever.
mean that happens?
I forgot. It was so irrelevant. Anyways, Falco, how about you?
How was it? Okay.
Okay,
Um,
I didn't watch baseball as a kid. I mostly got into it when I was 18.
Alright, so
So,
what's the best moment you've
um,
seen though, like from your time?
I think the walk off versus the white.
Okay, what about John?
I got a lot.
Oh,
Just
say
name one, please.
I say
moment.
Well, I got the good and the game that was a baseball game but didn't feel like a baseball game. It had to be the Jose Fernandez uh tribute or remembrance game. That game really hits hard every time I think about it. I feel like when people think
Hello.
that's why I always remember Jose and what he did for this team.
Or does he?
I'm having some technical issues right now, guys.
Writing
Falco.
on Gabby Sanchez or something, dude.
Trust me, I can deal with it. I can handle it.
Okay, I've been getting some technical issues here. Can you guys hear me?
wow, very impressive.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh my
Yeah.
I've been having technical issues with my
He
connection.
was like, guys, I'm having some tech.
Okay, Alex, what's your best moment that you saw live?
Kike Hernandez Grand Slam.
That was a
No
pretty
one
good
asked.
one. Thank you for sharing.
Game 5 against the Cubbies
Yeah, that was an awesome
in
one.
2017.
That's the best one you've mentioned.
Shout outs to the Dodgers losing in 7. All right, next up,
Chill.
Taco Cat, what's your best moment you've seen?
Well, we haven't had too many great moments in the Braves history during my years of watching them. If I had to pick, it'd have to be relatively recent. I'd either say the walk-off home run opening day 2018 versus the Phillies. That was good to hear. Kind of really signified our comeback into relevance, 2018. And then we had, let's see, I guess Ronald Acuna's grand slam in the playoffs. That was a good one against Walker Buehler. That was a fun one. Yeah, that would be one of those two. Because umpires really try and screw us out of the rest of the postseason. So, can't pick it out too many other ones.
Yeah, I'd like to change my answer to Kyle Schwarber's home run against Kevin Seacrest in the Cardinals.
Yeah,
in
no, it's
2015
too
on
late.
the scoreboard.
It's too late to
Oh.
change your answer. I think the best one I've seen, because I'm gonna be honest. I did not witness the David Freeze game. Okay, The best moment I've seen besides my outside of being a Cardinals fan, the best game I saw live was the Jose Bautista game. And I don't know, the best recent moment that I can remember is scoring 10 runs in the first inning against the Braves. That's like.
And then getting swept by the Nationals.
Well, since we're bringing that up, you got swept by the Mets in 2015 so.
Yeah, but we beat you to get there, so it doesn't matter.
But we beat the Braves, so that
Yeah,
counts.
nobody cares about the Braves. So.
How does it feel to have single-handedly ruined Mike Foltynewicz's career with that one inning?
I kind of feel bad for the guy, not gonna lie.
You've ruined him forever.
I think he can bounce back.
He's out of the game, probably.
Okay, we're wrapping up here.
Yeah, I think that's all today.
It was a fun one.
Some good little meme moments here. This is DOSFox Taco. This has been the MLB AfterHours Podcast. Hope you've enjoyed. Please recommend to anyone who's a baseball fan. Get our name out. Have more people watch us. We don't really want like a ton of recognition, being famous or whatever. We just want more people to watch, or more people to listen to the podcast because we have fun making. We have fun. Okay, I think that's it.
Okay, I think that's a good spot to wrap it up. We're done. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.